What are conditions to clean up criminal records? Offenders who have completely served their penalties shall be given conditions to do business, live honestly and integrate with the community, and when they meet all the conditions prescribed by law, their conviction may be expunged and their criminal records will be cleaned. A person whose criminal record is removed is considered as having not been convicted. There are 3 cases of conviction expungement, including automatic conviction expungement, conviction expungement under a court's decision, special cases of conviction expungement. Automatic conviction expungement applies to people convicted not for crimes of infringing upon national security and crimes of undermining peace, against humanity and war crimes when they have completed their main penalty, the probationary period of the suspended sentence, the person has served the additional penalty, other decisions of the judgment or has expired and does not commit any new crime during the period specified below. 1 year in case of a warning, fine, community sentence or suspended imprisonment. 2 years in case of imprisonment of up to 5 years. 3 years in case of imprisonment from over 5 years to 15 years. 4 5 years in case of imprisonment of over 15 years or commuted life imprisonment. A convict serving an additional punishment that is mandatory supervision, prohibition from residence, prohibition from holding certain positions, prohibition from doing certain jobs, deprivation of certain citizenship rights for a period longer than those specified in points I2, 3, above. Automatic conviction expungement shall be granted when he or she finishes serving the additional punishment. Conviction expungement under a court's decision is applicable to persons convicted of crimes of infringing upon national security and crimes of undermining peace, against humanity and war crimes. The court shall decide the conviction expungement of convict based on the nature of the crimes committed, the law-observing attitude, the convicted person's labor attitude and the following conditions. The court shall grant conviction expungement if the convict, after serving the primary sentence or probation period as well as additional sentences and other decisions of the judgment, does not commit any new crime over the following periods: 1 year in case of warning, community sentence, or suspended imprisonment. 2 3 years in case of imprisonment of up to 5 years. 3 5 years in case of imprisonment of between more than 5 years and 15 years. 4 7 years in case of imprisonment of more than 15 years, life imprisonment or death sentence that is commuted. If the convict is serving an additional sentence which is mandatory supervision, prohibition from residence, or deprivation of certain citizenship rights for a longer period than that specified in points I2, above, conviction expungement shall be considered when he or she finishes serving the additional sentence. If an application for conviction expungement is rejected for the first time, it may only be resubmitted after 1 year from the day on which it is rejected. If the application for conviction expungement is rejected for the second time, it may only be resubmitted after 2 years from the day on which it is rejected. Where a convict shows remarkable improvements and has made reparation in an effort to atone for the crime and conviction expungement is requested by his, her employer or local authority, the court shall decide to grant conviction expungement if has served at least 1/3 of the above period. In order to be automatically expunged conviction or expunged conviction according to the decision of the court, the convict must fully comply with the decisions in the judgment including the payment of court costs and not commit any new crime within the prescribed time limit. For special cases of conviction expungement, convict must have at least 1/3 of the time limit for conviction expungement according to regulations and the court shall decide to expunge conviction at the request of agencies or organizations where the person works or the local government where the person resides. The period after which a conviction may be expunged depends on the primary sentence. If the convict who has not had the conviction expunged commits a new crime which leads to a conviction under an effective judgment, the period after which the conviction may be expunged shall start over from the day on which the primary sentence has been served or the end of the probation period of the new judgment or from the deadline for execution of the new judgment. If the convict has committed more than one crime and one of which is automatically eligible for expungement, one of which is eligible for expungement under a court's decision, the court shall decide expungement pursuant to the prescribed time limit for conviction expungement under the court's decision. A convicted corporate legal entity shall automatically have its conviction expunged if it does not commit any new criminal offense for 2 years from the day on which the primary punishments, additional punishments, other decisions of the judgment are served or from the expiration of the time limit for execution of the judgment. Criminal record card can be obtained and authority to reveal the current criminal conviction situation or changes of situation of such conviction.